hair's getting so long, you guys. So I'm kind of debating what to do on this channel. I have been for a long time. I feel like I kind of want to do a little bit of a lot of things, but I feel like that's not good. Like, because I think about like why I go to people's channels, and I have certain people that I watch certain things from, if that makes sense. Like, I go to Candy Johnson for makeup tutorials. I go to Jaclyn Hill for makeup tutorials. I go to Aspen and Zoella for vlogs, David Dobrik for comedy. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not going to like one person for like everything. And like Aspen and Zoe, they have main channels that aren't vlog channels, and I don't watch those. I only watch their vlog channels. So it's like, I just like certain things about certain people. And so I'm thinking about like, what's my like thing? Is it like main channel videos? Is it like life talks? Is it vlogs? It's definitely not comedy. Is it fashion? Like, what should it be? So I just haven't been able to decide yet. I kind of want to talk more about my faith and talk more about mental illness. Those are like the two overriding themes in my life when it comes to like serious topics. I do love fashion, I love makeup, I love vlogs, but I'm trying to figure out how to center it more around mental illness and my faith, because my little sister has been on like such a long journey. And when one of your siblings, like if you don't have siblings, I think it's so hard to know what it's like, but I literally think that it's like more intense than even having a child. Like, I know that's crazy to people, and I know a lot of people are like, there's no way, like you're literally like physically connected to your child, but it's not the same. I know I don't have a kid, so I can't say anything, but like I've never met like a parent-kid relationship that is as close as sibling relationships. Typically, like there are exceptions, and obviously there are siblings that like aren't that close, and there are parent-daughters or parent-kid relationships that are super close, but I feel like most of the time siblings are super duper close, because you literally, like, you came out of the same woman, you grew up with the same parents, you grew up in the same town. It's like no one else knows exactly what you've gone through except your siblings. Okay, you guys, I'm sitting here editing this, and I feel like I'm about to be slaughtered for what I just said. I didn't explain exactly what I was trying to say. I feel like you lean on your parents a lot when you're a kid, but as you get older, the older you get, the less you need your parents and the more you need your siblings. I'm super duper close to both of my parents, like very close. And in some aspects of my life, I need them more than I need my siblings. I feel more responsible for my siblings. I don't really feel responsible for my parents. And I'm not saying that like all siblings are closer than parent-child relationships or vice versa. I think that it definitely has to do with like the way that you grew up, if you lived with your sibling or not, and also how much your siblings need each other. Like, if you never go through crises, then you may not feel this way. When you go into like survival mode, most of the time you heavily rely on your sibling just because they're like the same age as you, you're going through the same stuff together, you think more of the same way because you're from the same generation. I also think it has to do a lot with the fact that you can fight with your siblings like you can't fight with anyone else, but in the same sense, I'm not going to like be so vulnerable to rely on other people like I'll rely on my siblings. You know what I mean? It's because you're like at that level playing field that you can push and pull with certain things in a way that you can't with your parents, or in a way that you can't with your children. Like, you're not going to rely on your kids for financial and emotional support. At least you shouldn't. You're in a sense like the same person, but like not the same person. A lot more is available, or a lot more is appropriate to go on in that relationship, or will tend to go on in that relationship, that won't go on in any other relationship. Does this make sense? I hope so. So I think that that's really interesting, and I like how me and my siblings are super close, and I love like I'm super interested in other people and their siblings. I just think it's like, I think it's very interesting, the whole like psychology behind it, the nature versus nurture behind it, and just the like coping mechanisms that you like form as siblings. I'm going to school for family studies, and within family studies we talk a lot about sibling relationships and parent-child relationships and the family development through like having a child, or through like becoming a married couple, having a child, and then growing up from there all the way up until like old age. So I don't know if I should upload more like family content on here, talk more about me and my sister's relationships, or talk about my family dynamic, how that goes. I don't really know. I do know that, oh, also I want to talk about like how families cope with mental illness. Like my little sister has dealt with suicidal ideation and bipolar disorder, depression and anxiety for a long time, pretty much since she was 7, and went undiagnosed for a while and then had like 4 different diagnoses. So it's been a long journey for the whole family, and I want to see if we're gonna, like, I don't know, I kind of want to help people understand mental illness better, because I know me and my family didn't understand it until we would never understand it if we hadn't have gone through this journey. Okay, I'm putting them outside. Hold on. So I think it's important for people who have dealt with the mental illness, either themselves or in their family or with their friends, to speak about it, or if they personally deal with a mood disorder or a mental disorder, because it's such a perspective that not very many people have. It's so like special and unique, and it's so hard, but it's also really inspiring, and it's also very confusing and hard to wrap your brain around, and it's just a lot. And I think if you don't have firsthand experience with it, you literally cannot understand it. But I do think that the people who have experienced it need to talk about it more if they can, if they're able to, because other people need to know how to handle it, and I think not very many people do. And obviously mental illness looks different in everyone, and everyone wants it handled differently, but I think it would be nice if people had like a starting point of like, okay, well this worked for Audrey, so maybe it'll work for me, or this worked for Bethany on how to help her sister, so maybe it'll work for me and my sibling, or me and my friend, because it is a lot of trial and error. And so if I can help you skip a couple of steps before getting to a place that's better, then I want to do that. And I don't often feel like, it's so draining to be so emotional all the time and to be talking about mental illness all the time. For Audrey and me, both of us feel very drained a lot of the time, because a lot of you guys do message us a lot about you guys' difficulties, and Audrey also has a bunch of doctor's appointments that she has to go to and talk about her mental illness, therapy appointments, psychiatry appointments, and she was in a hospital for over a month doing outpatient therapy, and then she was in an inpatient hospital for almost 2 weeks, and constantly having to deal with your disorder is super draining for her, and for me to be worried all the time and to be trying to cope all the time and trying to figure out what I'm gonna do for her and for me is also super draining, but it's also very fulfilling. Like, I wouldn't trade it for the world, just because it gives you such a different perspective on things, on life, on people. Like, you can't, it sounds like I'm about to start crying, but literally my nose is just like freaking getting really clogged. I have really bad allergies. But you just see life through such a different lens, and I know like life experiences will do that to a person. And so I really do cherish like every obstacle that I've gone through, that Audrey has gone through, and I want to be able to use it. Like, I don't want all of this to go to waste, all of Audrey's like hardships and suffering and all of my stress and confusion, because it is so hard. But I know other people go through it too, and other people could go through it not as severely, and other people could be like way worse their situation. Human beings were made to share each other's burdens, and if we don't, then I'm just struggling more than I really need to, and you guys are missing out on a perspective that could really help you. Also, once you start dealing with mental illness in your family, you realize how many people struggle with it that either you had no idea because they've never said anything, you never even noticed it at all, or how many triggering things are out there. Like, I can't even tell you how many books I've read, TV shows I've watched, movies I've seen, or even like little quotes around the internet that I'm like, that could be so triggering for someone. And I would have, I probably have seen those things like a million times, but until I started watching out for it for Audrey, and just, it was like fresh on my brain, I would have never noticed. But I think that also, like, it needs to become more of a societal norm for people to know that, like, you can't say certain things, or you shouldn't say certain things, or promote certain things, because it can be very triggering, and you never know who's going to see that could be like the last straw, or that could set them back or really hurt them. I want you guys to pick both of our brains. Audrey's obviously the one who deals with it firsthand, but I'm the one who kind of sees it all from a outside perspective, like a different point of view. So yeah, I want you guys to pick our brains. I hope you guys kind of enjoyed this chat. I want to do more of these. Like I said, I get pretty like emotionally exhausted very quickly. I'm just not a super emotional person, so I'm like, I get over it real quick, which is a downfall of mine. But when I am in the mood to have serious chats, then I want to have certain topics to be able to talk about. So you guys give me a list of things in the comment section below, calm my nose, of video ideas that you want us to do. Kind of like, if you are an old subscriber, then our bedhead breakfasts that me and Audrey used to do when we lived in New York, I kind of think it should be something like that. Maybe a little bit more, well, those were pretty casual. Yeah, something like that. Maybe a little bit more organized than those chats, because those we literally just pulled up a topic and started talking about it. But maybe we'll organize our thoughts a little bit better, and like it can be more informational for you guys instead of just like our opinions. The freaking memory card ran out of memory, so sorry, you guys moved for a second. If you guys liked this video, please give it a thumbs up. I know it was like kind of strange, but I kind of enjoyed it, so let me know if you guys enjoyed it too. I need to do something with my hair. You guys don't even want to know the last time I washed my hair. It's been decades. Anyways, I love you guys so much. Thanks for being on this journey with me. I know I'm just like a hot mess all of the time, but life imitates art, art imitates life, and that's what my life is, just a mess. I'm gonna let my dogs in from outside because I banned them because they were being loud. But yeah, like I said, thanks for watching, bedhead babes. I love you. You're awesome. Let me know in the comment section down below what topics you want me to talk about, and I'll chat with you all later. And if you need to talk to someone, let me know. Also, tell your parents, tell a counselor, talk to someone if you're struggling. Even if you don't think it's that serious, like, just still tell someone, because you cannot do this on your own. I promise you need someone in your actual life. Like, messaging me is all fine and good and everything, but like, if I'm not in your actual personal life, then I can't help you. If you are really struggling, like, I can't be there to see the signs or to hug you or hang out with you for a day, and you need someone who's like that. So whether it's a friend, a parent, an aunt, an uncle, grandparent, or someone from church or school, like, talk to someone. I know that a lot of churches have like free counselors, so check that out too. At like a local church, you don't even have to attend the church. You just find someone who you can like say things out loud to, or you can spend some money and go see a therapist or something, I don't know. Or like group therapy is also really great. So yeah, don't try and make it on your own. We weren't built to do that. It's not sustainable doing life on your own. Talk to someone about it. Even if you just feel like you're in a slump, even if you don't feel necessarily like depressed, talk to someone. Saying things out loud helps you like figure things out in your own brain. Even if you don't need someone else to help you figure things out, you need to talk to someone so that you can figure it out yourself, if that makes sense. I've chatted long enough. Thanks for watching. I think I hear Audrey waking up, so I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.